What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? I'm BDLM coming to my point for why I bring you this game between Meowzsports and Regiment of Shadows. What is going on, man?
We did it! We made it into the game, just barely. But we're here to bring you, hopefully, an awesome action-packed game versus Meowzsports and Regiment of Shadows. So both some pretty impressive names, and both pretty much all tagged up. In fact, I love the icon coming out for the Meowzsports team. I have to admit that right off the bat.
Yeah, that's really cool. I mean, we have actually seen a couple teams sort of...
Your mic, dude. Your mic is a little fuzzy.
Got it.
There we go. Oh.
Alright, well, I can't do anything about it.
Now it's better.
Okay, well, that's great.
There we go.
We got to see some pony pictures before.
That's true.
We got to see naked spelled out by a team, so I'm loving all the just teamwork supports that the teams are putting together for this league. It's really cool. Let's get started with the bands, shall we? Meows is actually going to ban out the Rubik, the Leshrac, and the Lycanthrope. And for the dire side, we have Brewmaster, Invoker, and a mystery ban.
Yes, we are all those things, and have all those things. That doesn't make sense. The point is, yes, there's a third missing band here. I think all those are pretty typical, except kind of the Rubik, although I understand why he's banned. You don't see it very often right now, and actually Nature's Prophet going to finish out the bans here in a really fast Chaos Knight, actually. No real surprise with that pick, but I want to point out why I think this Rubik is banned. I think it has a lot to do with how they're planning this team comp. I think they're going to pick some AoE ultis that they want the other team to have nothing to do with, because otherwise, why would you get rid of them? I guess the Magic Resist aura, but I don't know if that's enough reason to ban a hero.
Yeah, I mean, actually, in the very first game that I cast today, people were just getting blown up by Queen of Pain ulti, Rubik there or not. I mean, she was still doing a tremendous amount of damage, so it wasn't even like that aura was like the be-all, end-all of, you know, stopping magic damage. And yeah, actually to finish out the first set of picks for Meows, we have the Darkseer and the Windrunner, two really strong picks, and over on the dire side, Enigma and Sand King, actually the first pickups on that side.
Can you say AoE comp? I think I had the wrong team for AoE comp, because it looks like that's what Reign of Shadows has in mind with their first two picks. I mean, Enigma Black Hole plus Epicenter from Sand King equals major damage. Now let's throw, like, I don't know, Queen of Pain in there or something just for fun. Just make it a blast, really. Crystal Maindol, of course, probably the most powerful AoE ulti in the game you would have to consider as well.
This is a pretty good one. When it hits, it is pretty good. I mean,
when it hits.
When it hits.
Fact. But
yeah, I'm kind of interested to see what kind of other stuff they might pick up. I mean, I presume we have a jungler. We also have maybe a support. He could even look to solo if he's crazy. Maybe go up against the Darkseer. But yeah, wow, another big AoE ulti in the Tidehunter.
Oh man, if they get an Earthshaker now, am I gonna have another moment like I did in that one game where Tidehunter plus Earthshaker just comboed up? Anyways, yeah, like you said, 3 amazing AoEs already. Brewmother actually made it through the first picks and bans. That's actually a little surprising to me. He normally ran a lot. And actually, Darkseer, another one I was interested that didn't get banned right away. A lot of people do not like dealing with him, just obviously for so many reasons. But obviously now picked up with Windrunner and Chaos Knight, so expect a really fast-moving Windrunner or Chaos Knight to be hunting down some people very soon.
You know what I want to see from the Dire? I want to see Shadow Fiend, and then Queen of Pain. There you go. That's how you round it off.
Shadow Fiend. Where is he? Yeah, I kind of forgot he existed, to be honest, up to this point, because no one runs him. He's a great hero. Well, he has his interesting moves, he's saying. Of course, AoE is one of his fortes, with both his ultimate and his Shadow Rays. I mean, he can do up to like 900 damage if he lands all 3. And Mice Armor Aura, I mean, he's got a couple perks there, but
he's got stuff.
He's got things in stuff. Queen of Pain actually banned, so they are not interested in running her in the solo mid. QQ, but there's still plenty of AoE heroes left on the board, so you know, not to fret. I feel like they're going to keep that going. I'm kind of trying to figure out who the Radiant here, who Meows is going to pick up. I mean, obviously, well, I don't say obviously. Darkseer and Windrunner both could take the long lane and farm it, or Darkseer could jungle, and then that would leave. Either way, they still need a middle. I think that's the one thing that we can definitely agree on here.
Well, they might look to run the Chaos Knight middle, actually, with the support. I mean, that's definitely an option. There's really a lot of things that this Radiant team can sort of do to shuffle around. Not so much for Regiment. I mean, I think at this point, it's definitely pretty obvious that we're going to see the Enigma in the jungle. And actually, our last band's coming out, Lich by the Radiant team and Faceless Void by Regiment.
Yeah, well, I kind of maybe would see a hard carry like Faceless picked up, but then again, they have Chaos Knight who's going to get farm in a lane, so not necessarily needed here. Chaos Knight can definitely do the job of a hard carry when he gets enough farm, and now Vengeful Spirit actually picked up to support, I would think, that Chaos Knight. And like you said, they could run that duo mid. I've seen actually in this tournament a lot of duo mids recently.
Yeah, I mean, the Vengeful Spirit a really smart pickup just because they're going up against an Enigma. I mean, that right there is really nice. But also, I mean, that stun's going to be great, and the minus armor from Wave of Terror is going to be really helpful when Chaos Knight is looking to try and pick up some kills. He's going to be able to rip people apart.
Oh yeah, I mean, for sure. Now, if I don't know about the Dire, though, like, they got a lot of options. Shadow Shaman is, I guess, one of them, and another great one at that. Gonna assist also with the pushing ability of their team, because they have the Enigma with those Eidolons. Obviously, he proves to be pretty effective at the pushing, and then drop the wards now from Shadow Shaman. He does bring a decent AoE presence with those wards and his Ether Shock, or Ether Blast, or Ether Shock.
Shock.
Ether
Yes.
Shock. Shock Blast. There's a blast! Blast from the past.
There's your another blast, my friend.
Yeah, that's the one I... See, I was kind of just predicting the future when I was saying that move. I was like, blast Pugna, yes.
Yeah, there you go. That is strange. That kind of makes a lot of sense, though. Oh, I really like it. So, no, this makes perfect sense, actually, because the entire Dire strategy at this point is big team fights with expensive spells. Pugna Nether Ward is going to completely counter that Dire team. And if they do survive those big AoE ultimates coming out from the Dire side, all of those heroes are going to be at really low health, and that's going to be really easy for Chaos Knight to pick off.
Yes? I think the Ward will definitely produce... Okay, well, then I'm done talking. What's the point of even bringing anything else up this game?
I'm glad.
No, but he is good, and actually it has been a while to see him, so I didn't just, I guess, expect it, but you're right, he does bring a lot, especially you're right, there's going to be a ton of spells thrown off in a pretty close capacity, so he's going to be able to drop a ward in a pretty effective spot and be able to hit them all with it more or less. Of course, the Blaster AoE, as well as adding that push potential, because it does do damage to towers, and then the Banish, you can, I guess, stack that up with like a power shot or a nuke from Vengeful. I mean, it's not as amazing as like having another caster on the team, but he can do enough damage himself to make it worth it. Morphling as their hard carry. So to go with that AoE comp, they want someone that's also going to be able to dish out damage if it goes to like that late game phase to deal with that Chaos Knight one-on-one more or less.
Yeah, I mean, Waveform is also another great source of AoE magic damage. It's going to be really important for the Darkseer to try and rush his pipe as quickly as possible. I mean, the other nice thing about picking up Pugna is they sort of have this weird ability to push well. There's no like dedicated pushing strat that you can see here, whether it be creeps or aura stacking, but you do have the Vengeful Spirit aura, who's increasing base damage. You do have the Power Shot and the Ion Shell. They're going to be able to push through creep waves very quickly. Nether Blast is going to be able to do damage to towers as well as creeps, and of course Chaos Knight, if he decides to pop his ultimate for a tower, can make quick work of it. So if they get an advantage in sort of the mid to late game, they could very easily clear out a lane.
That is definitely a fact. I think anytime you pick up Windrunner, you're kind of expecting to be able to clear the creep waves fast. And like you said, with the Nether Blast as well, coming from the Pugna, just another easy way to kill pretty much anything in that race. I mean, it does do that 325 damage. It's only a 5.5 second cooldown, so it's almost spammable for a hero like Puggy.
Puggy?
Well, I don't know. I felt like giving him a pet name. It's kind of like a pet name. He's like a little
dog
cute
now?
Puggy. I don't know.
He's very small. He does have a very like short face. So, alright.
And people keep their distance from them usually, you know.
Yeah, he probably breathes funny, I imagine. So, yeah. All these things. Yeah, I think it works.
I think we're going to have a clash of the Titans here in the bottom.
Of the Titans, you say? Well, I hope so after all of that build-up. We actually have several heroes running down. Wow, 5 heroes are actually smoked up for the Dire side, looking to try and invade the Radiant jungle. Only 3 heroes down here for the Radiant. So if the Dire are able to catch them off guard, they might be able to generate some kills.
Yeah, definitely. They're definitely trying to stay on top of each other as possible, which is very important. they're going to swing down here now. I think they might find someone. Actually, Chaos Knight, okay, they actually already revealed, so they're aware that they're close to people. Oh, here we go. The Burst Strike going to hit both your Malefice and the Waveform. All this AoE damage coming out. Chaos Knight going to drop immediately. Now Vengeful is going to be on the run. Will he be able to escape before anything happens here? He's not the fastest guy around, and he's going to keep trying to run here. Burst Strike's going to be up, just misses. It's such a short range, level 1. At least she will survive, but still the Chaos Knight falling very quickly. Who got the kill? Tidehunter did, so still very effective. They all got assists too, so you think about all the gold they all got from that.
Yeah, and I mean a decent amount of experience shared. I mean, when it gets divided 5 ways, it's not a whole lot, but it's not all that terrible of an outcome. And the Vengeful Spirit is actually gonna have to run back to base, or actually pops the healing salve that she had, so essentially wasting another 100 gold from that Radiant start. Interesting to note, actually, that we have Enigma doing a side lane solo down here. Very interesting.
Oh yeah, he's not jungling. That actually throws me off quite a bit. So I guess they want to tri-lane the top lane with 2 melee heroes, might I add, and Morphling. Like, talk about one of the shortest ranged tri-lanes you have ever heard of. If only they had like a Sven to cap off the the tri-lane. I don't know, but kind of an interesting measure there. But if they do line up the Gush, the Burst Strike, and the Waveform, that is still an immense amount of burst damage they bring forth.
Definitely, and I think Enigma should be pretty okay down here. Definitely has to be careful, but I was expecting actually to see the first point in the Eidolons, the demonic conversion, but once he does get the level 2, gets the demonic conversion, he's going to be able to start denying his own creeps, pulling the creeps towards the safer region of the map for him. But once we get 2-3 levels on these Radiant heroes, he's going to be very careful.
Yeah, a couple of things to note. Well, first of all, by the way, the first point, I think the reason he didn't have it there is because they were going for that smoke gank, and he probably didn't have any skills. And once they found those 2 heroes, I'm sure he leveled his Malefice right away to keep the gank going and get that kill. But the other interesting thing I've noticed here, normally when you see Darkseer jungle, he gets a smoke and then stacks up and gets a kill. He has no smokes on him. Not saying that he won't buy one, but normally I feel like this might not be the strategy he's going for. Maybe he's just trying to normal hard hard jungle with his Ion Shell.
Yeah, it is very interesting. I was noticing that too. The only lane we haven't talked about now so far, Shadow Shaman versus Pugna. So we're going to see that Pugna solo, and you can already see level 2 he decided to get that Nether Ward. So he is definitely realizes that that's very important for him and his team to be able to get that ward up as quickly as possible, so that as soon as the Dire team do look to try and get into team fights, that ward is ready.
I mean, another good reason besides that, decrepifying a Shadow Shaman, he's still going to throw all his spells out, even if he's banished out like that. So, still not going to be the most effective thing against a hero like that. And like you said, the ward in these team fights will be just so amazingly helpful that if the higher, of course, the faster he gets that, it's going to do just so much more damage, as well as drain mana over time on the people that don't have a lot of intellect, because it gives negative mana regeneration, which in some case makes you lose it instead of gain any at all.
Yeah, I mean, just to kind of make a point of just how big this ward has the potential to be, if you look at Shadow Shaman, all of his abilities actually increase in mana cost as he goes, and at level 3, his ultimate costs 600 mana. So that's going to be a ton of burst damage. If he looks to cast all 4 of his spells, it'll only take a couple hits from the Chaos Knight to take him down.
Yeah, exactly. The last rank there, it's 1.5 times damage equal to 1.5 times the mana spent. So that's 900 damage from dropping his ultimate. I mean, how unfortunate is that?
Yeah, that's going to be a ton. And I mean, we don't even have to look around at the other heroes. I mean, you can just see from that how instrumental that move is going to be. And what a great counter pick it was. Actually, here in the bottom lane, we're going to have some initiation.
Yeah, it's going to be Chaos Knight throwing a 2-second stun off. They've already used Vengeful Spirits, though. Reality, have to try to keep the pressure up. Yes, Vengeful Spirit can finish the kill, though. So good job combining their spells, getting the lucky 2-second stun. It could have been anything, but no, he decided he wanted the random to be in his favor for that one, I guess.
Yeah, as with last night, if you guys were with us when we were casting, I unfortunately have my muzzle on. I can't be full strength BDLM because it's late. So it's up to Jay to cast all this action. Hopefully, I can help him out with finding it around the map.
That's true. You're going to be like my little watchdog, my little puggy.
Mm-hmm. The pointer. Gonna be a pointer.
I guess Puggy wasn't going to fit in that one. But either way, yeah, so Enigma taking a quick fall, obviously putting his points mostly in Demonic Conversion to at least try to help him get some farm when it does get to these towers. But I think he obviously just can't be too aggressive. Against the Vengeful Chaos Knight, is potentially going to line up about a 6-second stun if he gets his lucky 4-second stun off. So he's got to play it really safe. And meanwhile, let's see how his farm is compared to like the Windrunner. The Windrunner is up to 4-2 compared to 9-4. Actually doing pretty poorly up here. I guess she's not using the power shot though to get last hits, and that's why she's having so much trouble.
Yeah, interesting. She's pretty much a full mana. Hasn't really decided to use any of that mana, but actually has Morphling pretty low. So, I mean, that is nice for her at least to be able to try and keep him scared of any kind of gank to maybe come up. But yeah, I mean, in this bottom lane, you can even tell that they're really interested in catching off Enigma as often as possible as they throw out another stun.
Yeah, absolutely. They're trying to just keep him down out of the lane, but he's got plenty of health to work with, and he does have that quick soul ring because he was involved in that first kill. I think that helped his goal just a little bit, and so he's going to be just fine being able to convert these things from a safe distance and hopefully get some okay farm from these Eidolons. And they don't have any real good AoE like a power shot down here to make sure they get killed right away, so they're not going to have too much issue. Actually using them to knock off that clarity potion, so good job microing those there.
Yeah, unfortunately, he is letting them auto-attack quite a bit, so he's not keeping the creeps as close to his tower as he possibly could. But yeah, like I wanted to mention earlier, Vengeful Spirit prioritizing her magic missile, so you can just tell that she's really interested in doing the high amount of burst damage to try and ensure that they can catch Enigma out as often as is possible.
Yeah, another great thing though, this Windrunner, I wish she would start using her power shot just a little more. I mean, look how she had the Tidehunter down to about 350 health, Morphling's still around 335. You know, a couple of a Shackle Shot plus a power shot might be enough to kill him, actually, at this point. But, you know, I guess she's just not really wanting to go that route, just staying cautiously safe back, doesn't want to get initiated on, you know, wants to try to get as much farm as she can without putting her neck out there.
Yeah, certainly. This middle lane, actually, check and see who is winning that. 34 for 6 Pugna against a 10-2 Shadow Shaman, just absolutely maintaining control in that lane. We actually see, you know, the Shadow Shaman just sitting on his bottle, while Pugna has his boots, has about 1,200 gold he's sitting on as well, so he is looking to do just fine in this game. I'm actually really curious to see what he looks to go for. He may want to go for a mech just to get that quick support item for his team, or maybe get something like a Force Staff.
I think mech would be a really ideal thing, although Force Staff, as you mentioned, now that I think about it, would be another great option, especially when you think about an Enigma. If he catches someone in the black hole and it's not the Pugna, of course it's a really effective item to get someone out of it that especially could interrupt it. Obviously Pugna does not have a tool that will interrupt it himself. Actually, will the Force Staff interrupt it by itself? Displacing him like that?
I would think so.
Yeah, so actually it could even add to that on top of it. But even still, just a great item around. But the mech also, you think, would help them if they want to try to push lanes or get more involved in those team fights right away, because they have a team that would definitely do very well in an early to mid team fight phase.
Yeah, I mean, he's already sitting on those Iron Branches. Obviously, that's only 106 gold. Not really all that big of a deal to you know, be working towards that item. He could very easily just sell those off, but, you know, you already got it started. You might as well, right? He actually goes ahead and finishes some Arcane Boots, just huge. That's going to definitely allow him to keep up pressure on this middle lane, and you can actually see he has done about 300 damage, 350 damage to this tower already, just pushing the creeps up.
Exactly. Now getting yet another rune bottled up. Shadow Shaman tried to guess it, but he didn't guess correctly at the 8 minute, and now it's going to be just more unfortunate circumstances for him. Of course, he does still have 2 charges, and the boots are in the stash, but, you know, how much are boots really going to help against this push? 3 more points in the Nether Ward, so he's almost got that maxed out. I wonder if he's going to drop it here while he looks to push. I mean, Shadow Shaman would definitely have to be cautious when casting his spells. I'm not sure how they're going to go about that. Actually, Enigma now dropping a ward in a pretty good spot there. I believe that should prevent it from respawning, but now might get caught out. Darkseer, and although these are just Pugna illusions, but here comes the search of Darkseer. He does have a vacuum as well. Going to pull it back just in reach for the Reality Rift. Here comes the 2-second stun. Vengeful Spirit getting the finishing blow with the magic missile, so a good catch on the Enigma there.
Yeah, I mean, that just shows how great that one ward placement is. We can see that the Radiant have placed down here in this bottom jungle. They got to see him rotate over to look to place those wards, so they just kept up good communication and were able to take him down.
Yeah, good reaction by Darkseer. A lot of times junglers aren't, like, there's 2 in the zone to really be a heads up, but I'm sure they call that out immediately, and he was able to just vacuum and just in reach of that Reality Rift, which has a very far range by itself, but is able to help finish that off. So another great kill for this bottom lane. He's got his treads and looks like his magic stick, or Magic Wand, excuse me, is going to be finished up here. So they're going to just keep farming away, and there's no rush to do it. Meanwhile, this top lane, how is it going? Morphling at 36-12, so some pretty powerful CS compared to that 9-3 Windrunner. But she's at least starting to use that power shot.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, I would be trying to spend as much money as possible on this Windrunner. She actually gets a little bit of help from her friend Pugna, who will take that middle tower. So she gets some extra gold here. Might actually be able to buy herself some items soon to maybe help her out here in this top lane, give her some regeneration so she can look to spend more mana.
Yeah, at least she's level 7. She's gotten a ton of experience from this lane. Enigma's level 6, though. He's not doing too bad himself. Like I said, that they're just not able to put too much pressure since it is only 2 heroes and not a tri-lane like that top lane. But Sand King's really mostly just been pulling for his lane. He hasn't really been up front trying to set something up a Windrunner, but then again, she is a challenging hero to set up kills on. I mean, she has both the Windrun and the Shackle Shot to escape and CC heroes if need be.
Yeah, it's very difficult despite how powerful that tri-lane is. I mean, they might even want to try and look and gank this Pugna. Look how far ahead he's pushed. He's way past the river. That'd be a really easy setup for the Dire team if only Shadow Shaman was calling out for some rotation there. Because Morphling could easily handle this top lane by himself.
Oh yeah, he's going to have no trouble at this point. He's got a Perseverance, some boots, a couple of those slippers of agility. Going to be just fine, but they really want it short, and they're kind of, actually, almost looks like they're kind of pushing at this point. The Sand King going up like that in the Sandstorm, and then the waveform even, using a spells on the wave, the creep wave, meaning they want to get now pressure on this tower, but Power Shot's going to be pretty effective at kind of stopping that dead in its tracks. They'll get a little bit of damage on here, but not nearly enough to make up for it.
In the middle lane, it looks like Shadow Shaman may go down here. No, he's going to get away just fine. The Decrepify used a little late, not able to slow him down enough for the Nether Blast to catch him.
Almost, though. And putting that Nether Ward down just once again, showing that, Shadow Shaman just doesn't really have enough to stand up to that kind of thing. And he's going to just keep struggling, especially if Pugna continues to get all the runes like he has this far in the game. So yeah, I don't know if they're going to have what it takes to stop him. The Chaos Knight getting the Helm with the Iron Will, so going actually for more of that DPS-y kind of Chaos Knight, going to go for that Armlet, which I really like to see on a hero like Chaos Knight.
Yeah, and I think it's a good choice in this game. I mean, they really do need the damage to be able to take out a lot of these pretty squishy heroes. I mean, yeah, Tidehunter pretty durable, and the Morphling as well, but the rest of those heroes can be picked off really easily with some lucky crits.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, Shadow Shaman now. Porting in bottom, but now he's spotted. They're going to look to initiate, though. Here we go. The Malphite comes out. Black Hole already used on Chaos Knight. Here come the wards. What is Chaos Knight going to do to respond? Just going to try to run to the left, but a Burrow Strike even TPs in, and that's going to be a kill for him. Nice try by the Vengeful Spirit to stun out the Shadow Shaman, but still at the end of the day, it was not enough. You see the Darkseer now trying to come back in to help out his ally. But they're going to try to push this, but the wards are in fact down. So all they really have at this point is some auto attacks. And I don't know if it's going to be enough to bring this down. They have the protection to use, and there you go. They're going to use it to make sure it stops the tracks. Pings are coming out now in this bottom lane. Is anyone else going to stop it? No, actually, Pugna is looking to just push the middle. Like, okay, you're going for tier 1. We're going to go for your tier 2.
Yeah, that's kind of interesting, actually. I'm surprised they didn't try to stun the Sand King in that Sandstorm. I mean, I think with the help of the tower and maybe a port in, they could have very easily handled that push. But they just decided to play it safe, pop the glyph. And yeah, like you said, I mean, they were at least able to threaten the tier 2 tower, actually doing quite a bit of damage to it. About 750 damage done to that. And yeah, I mean, for what it cost them to kill the Chaos Knight, I mean, not all that bad. They weren't even able to pick up a tower for it. So, I mean, yeah, it's unfortunate that you lose who I would consider the carry of the Radiant team, but you gotta at least be a little bit happy that they had to dedicate 4 heroes to getting that kill.
Actually, a swap coming on now from Vengeful Spirit on the Enigma. Here we go, a 3-second stun with the -R from the Wave of Terror. Is it going to be enough? Vengeful Spirit was trying not to last hit it, but didn't look like he had too much of a choice. They're actually not going to come with the Ion Shell and try to maybe farm up. Oh, going to use it on one of the Eidolons, actually, doing a whole ton of damage to the other ones, and about all of them are just going to die now. Vengeful Spirit was taking a decent amount of damage, but just not enough. Meanwhile, in the middle, Pugna going to get sheeped here, but actually taking a whole ton of damage from that Nether Ward. Here we go with the Ethereal. The Life Drain's going to be enough damage. It's just showing how deadly that Nether Ward truly is.
that is actually going to be enough money for Pugna to actually complete that mech. He does have the components already in base, sitting on 1,000 gold, about 1,100 here actually now. So he has that big team fight component already, and I'm actually really curious now that I mentioned that to see how close Darkseer is to a hood. He's actually only got 3 of health on him, but he is sitting on 1,800 gold, so he should actually be able to finish up at least the hood and work his way towards the pipe.
Yeah, always a very common build-up on the Darkseer, but especially looking against this Dire team, how much magic damage could they possibly bring in this AoE comp, like we were saying from the beginning? A pipe is going to be proving to be majorly effective. I would think that Chaos Knight's going to go for a Blacking Bar after he goes possibly for that Armlet, but actually see a Bracer coming out, making me think he's going to go more the traditional Drums of Endurance kind of build.
I think it's a good decision. I mean, that's certainly an item I like a lot, and now that they've seen that their Pugna is able to do quite a lot in this game, be able to get up a lot of farm, they might actually look to try and push some of these tier 1 towers, and actually Pugna actually looking to go up to this top lane with an invisibility rune.
And gonna drop the Nether Ward. Here we go with the Nether Blast. Tidon's gonna actually get his ulti up, but he's definitely gonna get one more auto attack, gonna fall here. And now the Morphling using that strength gain gonna be just enough to survive. So they didn't unfortunately get both kills, but still able to at least pick off one and not really have to sacrifice much at all for it. So a really good initiation there by the Pugna. And now they're going to look to keep going here. He does put another point into that Decrepify, so good just to continue to increase the duration, make that easier to pick off heroes while in it. Now they're looking, the mech used, and they're going to just do some damage to this tower here. The Sand King, the only person here to truly defend it, and he can't do a whole lot by himself, needlessly to say, against these 2 ranged nukers.
Here at the bottom, actually, a lot of pressure coming on in this tier 1 tower. They might try and make a trade. Shadow Shaman will drop the ultimate for it, so they are definitely going to be able to pick up this first tower. And actually, interestingly enough, Darkseer is going to pick up the Vanguard as his first item instead of going for that pipe.
Yeah, definitely, but actually back action top now. Pugna trying to do as much damage with the power shot as possible. They have a huge ton of burst damage, and they've gotten these 2 heroes to about half or lower health, but they're going to kill this Nether Ward before casting any more spells, because obviously it's just too painful. Oh, there we go. I was like, they're waiting for someone to get it here. And that's actually 80 gold, so not bad. But meanwhile, bottom, Shadow Shaman, out of mana, out of time. Going to get 2 seconds stun, plus another stun right off the bat. Ion Shell is going to be enough to finish him off. Now looking to kill the Enigma, easily gets the kill. Chaos Knight gets the kill. 2 for none on the bottom lane. Amazing job there. And they're probably going to push this tier 1 tower, I would think. Oh, no, they're actually the creep wave. Whoa, all the way back here.
Yeah. Wow. I mean, I'm really happy to see this Darkseer playing such a key role in a lot of these ganks. I mean, it's nice to see that he is being a team player, not just interested in sitting here and farming the jungle. He really has been nearby and available for when that bottom lane needs help to try and pick up a kill.
Absolutely. Morphling, actually, on the other hand, has the ultimate door plus the purse now, so very close to that Lincoln's, and against a couple of these heroes like the Vengeful Spirit Stun, the Chaos Knight, all these heroes have a lot of single target spells except for probably the Darkseer, that it's going to be actually pretty effective to block at least one of those when we start these fights, as well as giving all those stats. Well-rounded good item for him, so definitely a smart choice there. I'm sure after that he might look to go something like that Manta style, which is another very common thing to see on a Morphling to help the pushing potential of his team.
Certainly. I mean, E-Blade might actually be another good option as well, to be able to just burst down the Pugna, the Windrunner, and the Vengeful Spirit. All those heroes really squishy, so he might be able to just pop them very quickly. I actually also want to look at the golden experience graph. We can see the Radiant now have a little over 4,000 gold lead, and the experience graph actually getting pretty close to 10k.
That's a huge advantage there, 10,000. And like I said, it's only 7-2. So I think it has a lot to do, first of all, with the fact that they did have a jungler, which of course gives you all that experience and gold lead, but as well as just playing well as a team here, pushing these towers down. Pugna, a really good candidate for helping that, but now they're going to get this tier 1 tower on the bottom lane. Chaos Knight actually getting the last hit, going to finish his armlet off and does instead of going for that drum. So, maybe he'll get it after this, I'm not sure, but either way, a good pickup.
Yeah, I would certainly expect him to. I mean, the Bracer is just nice to be able to pick yourself up some tank ability, but actually I'm looking at this Pugna going crazy here in the middle lane.
Yeah, he is. I mean, he's got this haste rune, drops the ward, looks to do even more damage, but gonna miss. Here we go. The Sheep hurting himself for about 220 damage. That's just unfortunate. And now they're looking to protect this ward with everything they've got. They do not want it to fall. It's their last stand. But the Eidolons are like, no, we've got this. 80 gold now goes to the Enigma. But fortunately, it's not an incredibly long cooldown. 35 seconds, but it's already halfway through, so maybe they're going to look to get an initiation swap actually now. Under time, but he's going to drop his ult on their whole team, but definitely going to pay for it because his team was not there to follow up. So while it did hit a lot of heroes. Unfortunately, nothing they can gain from it.
Yeah, I mean, just before that, you know, we mentioned that the Pug award actually worth 80 gold. Both these teams have wards to defend because the Shadow Shaman wards can also be farmed for quite a bit of gold as well. So something they both have to sort of keep in mind. They can't really be throwing down these wards willy-nilly in areas that they're not going to be able to defend.
Definitely not willy-nilly. You would never want to see a will or a nil anywhere near those wards. A mech used now against his tower. Here they go with the pushing potential. Are they going to have what it takes? That Nether ward is still sitting back there. Actually, the Eidolons snipe it out. The Chaos Knight's going to go in on the Shadow Shaman, pick him up for anything but a black hole. The Sand King, unfortunately, already used his ulti, and the Burrow Strike doesn't have enough mana, so now we're going to see the Vengeful Spirit getting initiated on. Will the Enigma fall? Yes, Chaos Knight does get killed, but here comes the Morphling. Has the Lincolns up, doing a whole ton of damage in this fight, but he's not going to have enough to kill the Darkseer. Pugna wishes he had mana so badly, has the boots up. Will he decide to use it in time? Tidehunter is going to fall to the Pugna from just an auto attack. He's still just running around here. Morphling now taking a whole ton of damage. Mega kill. Triple kill comes from the Chaos Knight, and they're just going to be 4 for none, and they're going to push down possibly this tier 3 tower.
You know, I think the thing that I actually really like about Meowzsports right now, aside from how awesome their team name is just how good they all were at staying right on the edge of the fight. When they got to low health, they started to run away, but they didn't get so far away that they couldn't come back in and help. And you actually saw it for 2 or 3 kills there. A lot of them looked to turn around and then try and lay in some additional damage to pick up kills to try and wipe that Dire team.
Yeah, definitely some great support on each of those aspects. And like I said, they've gotten some good ultis off on this, I'm sorry, the Shadow team. The
Regiment of Shadows.
The Reign of Shadows?
Regiment.
Regiment of Shadows. Apologies there. We will get the hang of their names very soon. Meowzsports, I'm sorry, too easy to remember. But, yeah, I mean, like I said, they've gotten some good ultis. You've seen a Tidehunter hit 4 heroes. You've seen a Black Hole hit 3 in that last fight. But they can't get them all together, and that's what's really hurting them. When you have an AoE comp, you need to land those one after another after another. Like I said, Sand King pretty much wasted his before that fight even started. It didn't even have enough for a Burrow Strike to follow up the Black Hole, so they just couldn't do nearly enough damage, and the Chaos Knight and Pugna are just way too strong at this point for me.
Yeah, I mean, I honestly didn't even see the Sand King drop his ultimate there. The one thing that I did really like coming out from the Regiment of Shadows was that Enigma play. Using those Eidolons, actually, to try and get around the side and kill that Pugna ward to make sure that they weren't taking all that extra damage unnecessarily. And it looks like now this Tier 1 tower at mid will be pushed.
Be pushed, but maybe not fall. Here we go with some of the Radiant heroes now. Going to maybe look to start killing off these towers and the Eidolons. Yeah, it's not going to fall, and they've already used the Shadow Shaman ulti, so that's going to be down for the next fight. Pretty important to note that out. Tidehunter does have his back up after using it that last time, but they're just going to have to fall back now, and it's unfortunate they couldn't capitalize. Actually, Sand King had a moment where he could have Burrow Strike Pugna, and possibly this team could have lined up a kill, but just decided not to go for it, and maybe would have been a mistake there. And what do you think about this Ridden Hunter pipe, by the way? Going a pipe.
Very interesting.
We thought Darkseer was going to be it, but apparently mistaken.
He must be really interested in going for something like a Shiva's or perhaps a Sheepstick, but yeah, I really don't see the point of this Vanguard. There really isn't enough auto-attack damage coming out from the Dire team, I'd say, to warrant that kind of a pickup. I would personally want to look to go for the pipe on that, and maybe let the Windrunner go for the normal items like a 4-staff, or then even get the Sheepstick on her. But nope, they decided to do it the other way around. We'll have to see how it works out for them.
I'm sure, as long as they have the items, that's what's important. It doesn't necessarily matter who's on what. Now they're actually looking to go with this middle. Let's see another blast to creep out that wave. Power Shot's going to actually hit 2 or 3 of those heroes, so pretty effective, but are they going to have enough? The protection is available. Are they going to use it? Yes. Shackle Shot lands, but it's actually going to hit a Lincoln's Morphling. Now the walls are going to be up, only going to affect Tidehunter. A big waste there, but still going to pick him up before he even gets his ultimate off. Very important for this fight. Enigma now, everyone's on the retreat. Can they catch up to him? Yeah, here we go. Going to use the bandage more or less. Gonna now follow up with a stun. Gonna kill him. Sorry I messed up the name of it. That is Decrepify. I do remember that now. But that's 2 kills, and Enigma have to buy back because they're afraid of this push, and as they should be.
Yeah, I mean, I just also want to point out just Darkseer being heads up, keeping good control of his hero. A lot of times you'll see Darkseers like me drop their wall, create replicas, and then just forget to micro them. But you saw as soon as the Tidehunter replica was made, he took control of it and sent it after the Tidehunter. So just good play.
In a lot of trouble. Getting initiated on, pops the mech, and the Death Strike going to hit him, but now he's going to get shackled up here. Could he survive long enough? Actually, here we go, the Black Hole hitting 2 heroes. Vengeful Spirit also going to fall. The Epicenter, this one talk about doing a ton of AoE damage, but now they have to deal with the might of this Chaos Knight with his ultimate. Tidehunter dropping almost instantly. And now Reality Rift going in the Morphling, he's going to fall almost instantly. 5 for 2, and that is just not how you wanted that fight to go.
I don't know if you noticed just how much damage those crits from Chaos Knight were doing, but they were absurd. I'm pretty sure Chaos Knight 3-shot the Tidehunter, someone who's actually pretty good at taking auto attack damage. It's just amazing that they were able to do that, and he actually did complete his drums. He now has an ultimate orb waiting back in base for him as they look to try and push this middle tower.
It's a Chaos Knight. Been a while since I've seen this kind of build. But definitely
you push hard.
Here we go with actually the Burrow Strike Sand King with the Sandstorm, trying to slow down his progress. He's going to get the last hit, but now they're not going to follow up here with the Malphite. A little surprised their ward's going down. They really want to protect this Darkseer taking a ton of damage, and he's going to actually fall for it. So they do not get the range break, still get the important one in the melee. That's what really counts, and they're going to fall back. Not too upset to lose that Darkseer, especially with all the gold they just gained from that last fight.
No, definitely. And there's also a bit of a Radiant creep wave looking to come into the top lane, so they might actually be able to get some damage to that tier 2 tower to start to nibble on that guy just a little bit to try and set up something for the later part of the game. Yeah, I mean, they were able to actually get quite a few of their ultimates together there, but, oh man, the damage from that Chaos Knight was just so much, and he's actually really close to finishing up that mana style. As we can see, he actually has almost completed his Yasha.
Tier 1 actually falls here, so they get a tower, very needed, their second one of the game. It's going to help that gold graph. Let's check it out, RQ. Oh, okay. Well, there might be a tiny dip back, but yeah, 14,000 currently the advantage for the Radiant, as well as a 20,000 experience. So yeah, just a slight advantage for Meowzsports here. Just playing pretty much lights out at this point, doing a really great job. And you can see, actually, Yasha's almost finished on Chaos Knight. He's almost got that Manta. I can't wait to see all those images pop out for the next fight.
It'll be pretty hysterical. There's unfortunately no Earthshaker in here to try and counter all that.
I told them to run it with the Enigma, and they just didn't listen, although they're not listening to the stream. They just didn't get the spider senses, you know?
No, nothing tingling, unfortunately. So what can you do? The kind of like nice thing, I guess, about the Dire lineup is it actually makes Roshan a really unattractive target for the Radiant. So even though they do have this huge advantage, they aren't going to be able to get that sort of 6th life, because I think it's just way too risky for the Radiant to try and do. They would have to really try and sneak it fast when they have an advantage. But with all heroes up, all that AoE damage funneled into that narrow choke of the Roshan pit would definitely be a tarp.
Wow, did that Dire tower fall quick or what? Actually, a TP's going to come in. Are they going to try to defend this? Pugna does get the last hit. Chaos Knight right next to this Enigma pops the ultimate. Shackle going to land beautifully. Oh my gosh, the Morphling falls almost instantly. So does the Enigma. Tidehunter dropping it all, hitting all 5 heroes, but you don't have a team. And the pipe's going to come out now just in case 3 heroes fall. That is pretty much all their AoE. Chaos Knight gets all 3 of those kills, by the way. No surprise with all the damage he's bringing to the table. And they're going to easily now push this tier 3. Manta-style Purse is going to get flown out to him. Aren't they going to take, I'm sure, actually Darkseer looking to vacuum an Ion Shell. No, just the Ion Shell's like, alright man, you got this one. And they're going to just push down this melee and range racks, maybe switch over and kill the ranged in middle, or possibly go to Roshan right after to see what they decide to do.
I can't wait to see how much health Morphling has, because he's sitting on 49.
Comes out, the Shaman actually going to finish him off. Sorry for the interruption, but that was just too beautiful coordination there.
Here's my answer, actually. I was going to wait for Morphling to respawn, but I'd like to point out the Chaos Knight crit him for 1107. Morphling has 1062 health. Literally one-shot the Morphling after the Reality Rift.
Absolutely. Just showing the effect of both the armlet and the abilities going, in addition to the Vengeful Spirit Vengeance Aura, which people will soon forget, but actually amazingly effective for these things. Now actually Malphite's going down the Darkseer, stunning him once, twice. Black Hole used on 3 heroes now, but do they have enough damage to burst this out? Darkseer's still trying to get away. The Surge going to be used. Oh, I thought he was actually going to survive, but Pugna in the meantime killed the Enigma. The Sand King ult went down and pretty much hit no one. and now actually Windrunner getting chased down. Deathstrike used on a creep. That is not the right target, and Windrunner's going to get out just fine. Pugna now trying his best to survive, going to do as much damage as he can to Sand King. The mech used. Actually, I don't think Sand King should really be chasing this. Another blast going to come out and going to kill him with the Decrepify, so that gets turned around real quick on him.
Yeah, unfortunately the Sand King hasn't had much luck this game. Said some poor ulties, and then there, yeah, just fighting where he really shouldn't have. Such a short cooldown and then another blast. It's so hard to stay on top of Pugna when he has such a little health, and also has a Scythe of Eye, it's interesting to point out. Really starting to get fat on him.
Yeah, you'd like to say this game's pretty much over. I don't like to call it because, you know, especially any team that has Enigma, I say this time and time again, but any team that has Enigma, I don't ever throw in the towel until the game's over. Just because Black Hole can make that much of a difference. But they're still struggling to coordinate their ultimates. They still have really yet to get that Tidehunter, the Sand King, and the Enigma all off at once, and it's just really hurt them here.
Yeah, but I mean, that's a really good point. We have yet to really see the Dire take advantage of the lineup they have, and that's still certainly a possibility here. I mean, yeah, they are 2 lanes down, but if they get a big team fight, that's going to be a long time that the Radiant team is down if they are able to pick up those kills, and that might open up something as I talk very optimistically.
We have to be, as casters.
Of course.
You know, we have to hope the game gets like some amazing comeback from about a 20,000 gold deficit and a 25,000 experience. If they come back from this, you better believe it's going to be on the front page of the Reddit thread.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, you know, the other thing that you mentioned earlier when you said Vengeful Spirit, giving that Vengeance aura, it's also that Wave of Terror, man. I mean, 3 armor reduction, it's only level 2, up to 5 armor reduction. I mean, that's just huge, especially when you consider the number of images that are going to be beating on the Dire squad.
Initiation. Tidehunter is actually really caught out. He's going to have to use his ultimate if he doesn't die instantly. Going to pop it. No, doesn't even get it off. Can't say Godlike going to get the kill. Instantly, you see the Shadow Shaman draw. Now Enigma going to fall before even he gets his ultimate off. Actually, it was a cooldown. Pugna now looking to follow up on the Sand King as well. The blast is going to come out to finish him off. No, but there's the power shot, and that is 4 for none. Morphling is just by his fountain, pretty much packing it in for this game.
Yeah, they're going to look to take this 3rd lane. I would definitely be tossing out the GGs at this point if I was Regiment Shadows. Just get out of the game, get into a game that you maybe have a better chance in. I mean, it looks like the Dire team really got to pick the kind of lineup they wanted, but unfortunately could not handle that Chaos Knight, and I think that might be a hero that they definitely look to ban out in Game 2 of this best of 3.
I was going to say, make sure the viewers know this is in fact a best of 3 for those who just joined in the Dota 2 Reddit League. Check out /r/RDTL for all the information there. But yeah, it's going to go to the Game 2. Look, there's all the Chaos Knight images I was waiting for. Oh my god, that tower does not stand a chance. Here we go, the Enigma wants to Black Hole the world, and he's going to do as much as possible, but he is in fact going to fall, and as is the Shadow Shaman, and that will definitely be a GG. First game going to Meowzsports.
Yeah, I mean, Chaos Knight taking My Little Pony to a new extreme here in this game. He is definitely going to hope to be able to pick up that hero in the next game. We will have to see. Here is your stat screen. We will see you in the next game.
Abso-positively, lootly. Switching the scenes. Scene switched. Do you think I should restart the stream right before the next game or do it now?
Probably right before the next game if that's how you're going to do it.
We'll just chillax. Actually, no, that is not the right lobby to join. That is in fact a different game going on. By the way, it appears that is Lullaraptor's playing, or either way, if he's casting, check out his stream. He's also a caster for this this tournament or this league or whatever you want to call it, this crazy thing. So Lullaraptor's another great one. We've got a bunch of great casters here, actually. So anything, like I said, I've already kind of thrown out the name, but in case you didn't hear it the first time, /r/RDTL, you get the list of everything going on, the schedule, the casters. Check it all out. It's a lot of fun. Here we go. The game appears to be up. I'm assuming the password is going to be the same. I guessed wrong. I'm going to need a password.
Denied.
Password Plix is the message I will send over to our good friend at Meows. And, yeah, so a pretty interesting game 1. I love the Pugna pick. I mean, out of left field. Oh, apparently password's game, or, yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Here's the password.
Hey, world.
Everybody jump into the game. It'll be beautiful.
There you go.
We'll just, oh, I like it. That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's
I like that.
Pretty innovative. Honestly, hurry up before they start this game. I think they're They might be impatient. There we go. All right, everyone's in. So as soon as they start the game, I'm going to restart the stream, everyone. So don't go anywhere. I'll be right back. I just want to break this up for when I get the VODs up. We have all the VODs of the tournament so far on each of our pages. You can check it out in our videos section here on the Twitch channel. So you can catch some previous action, what's happened so far. So been some really interesting best of threes so far, definitely.
There's been some really interesting fails on the parts of some casters trying to get their exploit to work. That's also hilarious to watch, I hope.
Yeah, let's hope it's funny and not pathetic. Yeah, let's hope that's the angle people take it.
I like to hope it would be, because I had fun doing it, despite the fact that I felt retarded for 9.
Oh man, your mic! Move it again. Do that little quick movement thing you did before.
How's it now?
Better. I don't know
really?
why. It goes like a little staticky. I don't even hear you. Briefly.
Interesting. Well, there you go.
But anyways, you're back. That's good. It's positive to hear. I do think that Cast Knight might get banned out, like you said. I think he was a pretty critical reason why they won. But I mean, then again, if they just throw another carry that has a decent CC, it's almost going to do the same thing. I mean, he's not going to be as tanky, which is a very important thing to note, but I don't know. I think they could decide to go... Well, then again, I was going to say Faceless, but he was banned out in the first game, so I'm not sure who they would switch that out for.
Yeah, I mean, I think the really big issue with that game was the fact that you had 2 heroes in that top lane for the Dire that essentially were doing nothing that whole game. They just didn't need to babysit the Morphling, really should have looked to roam around. And I guess I will end my thoughts on that game as you look to restart the stream.
Restart the stream, guys. We will be right back after these commercials or something. No commercials. Be right back.